I guess I'm live now. So happy, welcome everybody, and a very happy news for all of us now that the cat is not getting delayed this year. Whether it's happy or not, of course, it is definitely news now. The cat is not getting delayed. 28th November is the date, and a few things have come out in the context of uh, in the context of the cat notification this year, and the basic notification that you see in this context. So I just wanted to take you through the notification, uh, and good evening everybody. So this is the notification, and what are the key factors that are there in the notification? So one thing that we all know now is that it's on 28th November. That's the biggest news. And the other thing is also, this is something I've been predicting for the last couple of weeks. In fact, last month or so, it was quite clear that I don't think they were going to reduce the amount of uh, social distancing requirements. And the CAT went into 3 sessions, basically because of the fact that we are going to move into we needed to be socially distanced while taking the exam. And when you're doing an exam, conducting an exam across 2 sessions for 2 lakh people, you have 1 lakh people coming to the center every exam, every slot. And when 2 lakh people are giving the exam in 3 sessions, you are basically calling around 60,000 people per section per session. So obviously you are cutting down the traffic by around 30-40%, which automatically creates the social distancing required. And if you parallelly increase the number of centers, that's what they did uh, in the last year, which they are maintaining this year. 156 test cities is a huge exercise, and candidates will be given the option to select any 6 cities in order of their preference. So these are huge. It's a huge exercise if you look at it. And so the biggest news here is basically that you've got a, a 2 hour exam, most likely. It's not defined in this, but 3 sessions pretty much defines it as 2 hours, because you have to have a time of going in and coming out. My only concern about it being a 3 hour exam was in the context of whether they will have a 2 day cat or a 3 day cat kind of thing. So if they had gone into conducting cat over 2 days or 3 days this year, like they were doing some years in the past, then they could have had 3 hour sessions. But I guess they are not changing this pattern, and I also believe that they're pretty satisfied with the results that they've got out of last year's selections, and the kind of batches they've been able to create in spite of having 1 hour less to test people. So that is quite critical. So please remember the following dates. Registration opens on 4th August, 10 a.m., and registration closes on 15th September at 5 p.m. These are the first two aspects you need to remember. And 27th October to 28th November, you will have access to download the admit card. That means up to the last date, and your test date is November 28th. So the big news right now, I mean, of course, one is not expecting any changes of patterns as such. Then 3 sections, 40 minutes each, more or less वही आने वाला है. We are of course waiting for the last word on this from the IIMs with respect to the more detailed advertisement, etc. That will come out. But broadly, exam pattern will remain. I think is going to remain 2 hours only, right? So yeah, media release में भी शायद उन्होंने बता दिया है, right? So my only concern about it going back to a 3 hour exam was in case you had a two day cat, which they have not done. So this is the basic structure of what is happening this year. And so what are the key things that one needs to remember now that cat the date is defined, and we obviously last Sunday of November is normally the scheduled date. So we now have approximately 3 months. So what you need to do over this 3 months, I mean, I'll just go ahead with 28th PK. It's on 28th of November. Sunday 28th November is the date. So what you'll need to do over these 3 months, last few months, this is going to be a short session. I'll come live again with Meenakshi ma'am sometime later in the evening today to help you define this. Now, see what are the key differences between a 2-hour exam and a 3-hour exam. The 2-hour exam required a 44% score, net score, to get you to 99 percentile. The 3-hour exam was requiring you to score around 50 to 53% score. So on that perspective, the percentage of marks required to qualify did drop in the 2-hour exam. So this time also, when you are targeting around a score of 100 out of 228. If it's going to be 76 questions, most probably I don't think uh, they'll be changing the number of questions. So you might expect a shift of +2 minus +3 plus minus 3 on the 99 percentile. So as far as in the 97 to 103 range, you should be hitting around 99 percentile in your cat this thing in your cat scores. So a lot of people think about this as if dropping from 52% score to 44% score is a huge drop in terms of the percentage of score required, net score required. But I have a different way of looking at it, which I wanted to. Yeah, out of 100, 100 should fetch 99 percentile, Rahul. So I have a different way of looking at it, and that way of looking at it is this: that if you look at the exam, if you look at the CAT exam, how much did you need to score in a 3-hour exam? You needed to score around 155, 160 for a 99 percentile. How much do you need to score now? Around 100, right? Of course, the last year's DILR was slightly tougher than the other previous years, so that is one of the reasons why the score dropped a little. But एक perspective से देखो तो scoring rate has not dropped. Look at the scoring rate. In a 3-hour exam, if you're scoring 156 marks to get a 99 percentile, you are typically doing a 52 marks per hour. That's the scoring rate. And a 2-hour exam, if you're scoring 100 marks to get a 99 percentile, then the scoring rate is approximately 50 marks per hour. So you have to score 50 marks per hour. That's the bottom line. So you have to now start looking at okay, the average has to be 50 marks per hour. Of course, you please understand that DI and LR is slightly more difficult to score, or the scoring rate drops in DI-LR, while in quants and verbal the scoring rate increases, which is evidenced from the fact that in a 1-hour exam, in quants and verbal, the 99 percentile is around 66, 65 to 70 marks, whereas in DI the 99 percentile is only at 45 to 50 marks. So obviously the scoring rate reduces. So somebody who is able to score a 99 percentile in all three, 65 plus 65 plus 50, will get a 180 marks, and which will end up getting a 99.5, 99.7 percentile kind of thing. So you have to try to understand that when 65 marks is the number for 99 percentile, or has been the traditional number for 99 percentile in 1 hour in quants and verbal, barring a very easy paper, then it goes up to 75, or a very tough paper, then it comes down to 55. But normally, if you are taking the thumb rule as 65, then in 40 minutes, your scoring rate per 40 minutes in verbal has to be around 45 marks. If you are looking at the verbal helping you qualify for the exam, for the CAT, and your scoring rate in DI has to be in quants, again, has to be around 45 marks in every 40 minutes. That means you should be able to solve around 17, 18 questions correctly, with maybe 2 or 3 errors after that. So 20 attempts with an attempt every 2 minutes is what you need to target in your mocks and in your this thing. And that's how you will this thing. And in DI, your base value will be that, okay, in a 40-minute framework, I need to be able to score around 30, 35 marks, maybe 35. And if I can push it above 35 by doing one extra set, then you straight away hit the 40s, 50s in DI, in which case you are actually maxing the DI score, because at a score of around 50 in DI will be a very high 99.7, 99.8 kind of percentile. So तुम्हारा basic numbers 45 in verbal, 45 in quants, and 35 in DI. This should be your basic numbers and your basic targets given the structure. Or just remind yourself, reiterate करो अपने आप को, reiterate the fact that these 3 months could be the most important part of your months. Don't put too much pressure on yourself when you're taking the test. Don't put too much pressure in terms of how much you're scoring in the exam, but do make sure that you are doing everything that is required to actually build your solving skills to that level that you can solve 17, 18 questions correctly every 40 minutes in verbal and quants, and you can solve maybe 3 sets correctly in your DILR. If you can get there, a life of affluence is waiting for you, because as I was telling some students this morning, if you look at, I was reading a news article about, I think Infosys had released their uh, their annual report, and that they had mentioned that around 200 employees at that company are now earning 1 crore plus salaries. So you need to understand the fact that going forward, I mean, this is an indication of what has happened in India, in the Indian corporate sector over the last 20 years. 40 minutes per section, right? So this is an indication of what has happened in India over the last 40 years, last 20 years. The liberalization and the growth rate of the Indian economy, when it's grown by 7-8%, all that has created these crorepati, so to say, who are earning more than a crore a year. And you know today that uh, an income of 1 crore plus actually puts you into whatever your background was. You might have come from a very average family, but whatever background was, you can actually become rich in one generation of working if you can get to that kind of salaries. And when you're preparing, when you're looking at your life going forward, you have to look at maxing your opportunities. Next 20-25 years of in India, by all indications, are going to be even better than the last 20 years. So by the time each one of you hits your 40s in 20 years time, if you have not through your work created that affluence that should come in your life, if you do your things right and you play your cards correctly, then I think you have made some major mistakes. You would have made some major mistakes in the way you have uh, created a career in the same time, in the same timeline, where maybe this number of 200, if it's 200 for one company, crore plus employees for one company, there must be at least 10 to 15,000 Indian corporate sector employees who are earning a crore plus today. So that 15,000, by all indications, in 20 years' time is going to become maybe maybe a lakh or two. It's going to grow at least by 5 to 6 times. So are you going to be there or not is going to be a key aspect. And you need to give it your best shot. What you need to reiterate, given the CAT notification is out, if there's no surprise in it. See, the surprise would have happened if there was a delay in the exam, unless there's a major third wave around that time. I don't think there's going to be any changes now, and most likely looks like, touch wood, fingers crossed, most likely looks like we are not going to have a third wave as such, because immunity has built in, and vaccinations are going well. So hopefully we Indians are not going to be stupid enough to call a third wave on ourselves. So if nothing is going to happen, then it's all going as per plan. So just make sure that you give it your best shot. Even now, you've got 90, 100 days of work left. Yeah, I'll definitely make a video on how to score 99 percentile, and Nimit, I'll also talk about IP-MAT in a separate video. A number of questions you can expect. Number of questions you can expect the same as last year: 26 in quants, 26 in DILR, and 24 in verbal. That's what you can expect, right? Time per question, Ashraf. Time per question per section. I told you, in quants and verbal, you have to get to a point or a skill level of being able to solve 20 solid questions. 20 solid attempts with 17, 18 corrects should get you there. That's the quants and DI part, quants and verbal part. In DI, if you can get to 10, 12 solid attempts, no matter how difficult the paper is in your mocks, etc., and on the day of the CAT. And after that, you play freely. If you can actually max the paper and go to 15, 17 attempts on the day, great. But baseline तुम्हारा 10 to 12 attempts का होना चाहिए, कि कितना भी खराब हो जाएगा पेपर, कितना भी डिफिकल्ट पेपर हो जाएगा, 10 अटेम्प्ट तो मेरा निकल ही जाएगा किसी भी हालत में DILR में, right? So the notification PDF, let me share it again with you. It's I'm just sharing my screen here, and I'll just see if I can. This is the notification PDF. You can have a look at this. So you can take a snapshot of this if you want, and this thing. Not much to remember here. To our exam, 28th November, 4th August is the main date, which you remember. Your registration opens on that. The last thing is 15th September, 5 p.m. Don't wait for them to extend the this thing. And when you fill the form, please remember these things. Uh, no change in category will be entertained after CAT registrations. Hence, the applicants are advised to pay attention while registering. So once the form is out, I will bring out a specific video taking you through the form, telling you how to fill what column in that. तो वो मैं कर दूंगा अलग से. So just make sure that you don't misfill the form, and you have to pay fees twice. It's pretty steep now, 2,200 rupees for all candidates, and for CST 1,100, right? And of course you can apply to irrespective of number of institutes you can apply to all the institutes. Yeah, I will make some detailed videos for these also. Yes, 90 percentile तो बहुत आसान होता है देवांश. Getting 90 percentile is very easy. अभी भी start करो. 90 percentile के लिए क्या है, 2 घंटे में 20 क्वेश्चन करना है. ठीक है ना, 20 questions in 2 hours. If you can do, you'll get a 90 percentile. So don't bother too much about कि 90 आ सकता है कि 90 is quite easy to get, right? Even people who are getting 10 20 marks in the mocks right now, if they improve the way they select questions, etc., तो तुम्हारा 90 percentile तक आराम से पहुंच जाओगे तुम, right? So I really don't know. Somebody send this across to me, and आ जाएगा 1-2 दिन में. आई गेस फोर्थ तक तो आ ही जाने वाला है ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट पे. सो यू कैन हैव अ लुक एट इट. 20 questions from 76 is what you need to. तो एक फैक्टर है. आई मीन if I talk about your 50 marks per question, one factor that made the because you're made the 2-hour exam a little bit easier is because it gives you more choice. I mean, for example, let's say if you're doing 100% correct question, if you're in the 100% correct scenario, okay, I'll do everything correct in the paper. So to get 99 percentile, you needed to solve 33 questions out of 78 questions last year, right? But if you are 100% correct in the year before that, in 2018, 2019, if you are 100% correct and you wanted a 99 percentile, you needed to solve around 53 questions out of 100. So you had a choice of 47% questions. That means for every one question you did, you could leave one question in the previous case. For every 53 questions you did, you could leave 47 questions. More or less 1:1 ratio था. यहाँ पे क्या, for every 33 questions you do, you can leave 43 questions, which means the ratio is almost 1:1.4, which means out of 1:1.4 मतलब क्या हुआ, 2:2.8 approximately. That means out of every 5 questions तुमको 2 ही क्वेश्चन करना है CAT में. Out of every 5 questions, you have to do only 2 questions. It's a 2020 pattern. That's the structure now, right? So you're getting choice of 3 questions to leave. So that's a huge strategic change. पहले तुमको out of every 5 questions, you had to do more than 2.5 in the previous CAT to get the 99 percentile. So the emphasis on knowledge is reduced in that sense. It's giving you more freedom to choose. So the amount of fight required to get through your questions, I mean, it's a significant jump when you're solving only 2 out of 5 questions versus you need to solve 2.6, 2.7 out of 5 questions. It's a significant change in how much you need to solve, or how many questions you need, or how much you need to look at in terms of I mean, how much choice you have and how much you need to fight inside a question. So the fight per question was much higher in the early exams, in the 3-hour exam, than the fight per question in the 2-hour exam, because when you are between should I fight with this question or should I leave it and go to the next one, in the 2-hour exam, as far as you do 2 out of every 5 questions, if that is your average, then you are kind of kind of on track or on track to on par to score a 99 percentile, right? So I'll come live more regularly now, given the fact that we are now now in the last 3 months of the exam, of the preparation for this exam, and we'll be doing a live. Meenakshi ma'am and I will do a live at around 8 p.m. today. So you guys can come in and ask whatever doubts you have, right? So yeah, I'm just trying to look at the at the chats around here. 95 percentile benchmark Sanjeev will be at around 80 marks, 75 to 80 marks, right? So last year, जैसे 2 hour exam में क्या था 100 marks, 2 hour exam पे 100 marks पे 90%, 3 hour exam पे 100 marks पे 90 percentile था, 120 marks would be 99 percentile, 95 percentile. So similar, the percentage breakups would remain same. So whatever score you get for 90 percentile, 60 marks was 90 percentile last year. So 95 percentile will be around 20% above that. So 72 75 रेंज में 95 percentile आएगा, और 80 प्लस में तुम्हारा 96 97 आ जाएगा स्कोर, ठीक है, right? So 82 in 10th and 12th. So we will do a live question and answer session tonight. I think I'll schedule it for let's say an 8 p.m. schedule tonight. 8 p.m. Meenakshi ma'am and I will come live today, and we'll answer all your questions that you have. We'll be live for half an hour between 8 to 8:30, right? So thank you so much. I'll wind up now, and we'll see you at 8 o'clock tonight. All these questions, all the personal questions will come out. I don't want to make this video very long. Otherwise, people who are watching it later don't see the video. So we'll have a separate session on your questions. 8 p.m. tonight. 8 p.m. tonight. We will do this session. Let me just put up that announcement. So 8 p.m. tonight, all your questions answered on the channel. And that session will be with me, Arun Sharma, and Meenakshi ma'am. Both of us will be there in the session. So do take out the time, and you can look at the notifications on the channel. Do subscribe to the channel, all those of you who have not done it, and all those of you who have not subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel and do press the bell icon. Thank you so much. Bye bye.